Hello, I'm back. It's 9:44 p.m. I got a yawn. Excuse me. Excuse me. If I didn't start the video, I wouldn't have to yawn just now. So I don't even know if that's part of the mind control or the remote neural monitoring to have me to yawn at the beginning of every video, and now they're making my nose itch. Um I'm thankful and glad to have had help with another hotel night. I'm in a different room. Oh, excuse me. I'm so tired. Um, I'm too tired. Um, so it seems like the solutions that I have attempted to try to get out of my homeless situation and stay out of my homeless situation. Um, you know, with them forced gang stalking me. Them gang stalking me and forcing me to be homeless and stay homeless. Um, I tried what I could to fight. I succeeded at getting out of homelessness, and sooner than I know, um, but I guess the gang stalking network was hoping that the Pensacola neighbors, I guess the gang stalking network, they were hoping that the neighbors would kill me. That's why they're creating this false narrative that I was stupid for leaving. Because they wanted me to stay and then die or get murdered. And then if I would have stayed and died, you still would have said, she's stupid. So, but it seems like every time I try to get a place to live, they force me back into homelessness. And like, even though I have been homeless off and on throughout the years, ever since um ever since I've been like got my final confirmation about me being targeted, now it's like everything is even more bizarre. When I used to be able to live somewhere for 4 years, then the most I can last for would be 1 year, and now I can barely even last a month living somewhere. And it's not about me having mental illness. Um, and I absolutely, been feeling really bad, about being like, feeling ashamed at being a burden on society when I don't want to, and this is not the normal me. The normal Candy Grand Prix is very independent and self-sufficient, and but they put me in predicaments where I'm forced to have to be dependent and needy so that they can have more control over me. And even 2015, 16, 17, I figured that out. Because, like, in 2015, I think was when they started summer or more like fall. I think it started September 2015 that they started vibrating my body. And for months, every time I look up, vibrating, my like, why is my body vibrating? Then it will come up information about gang stalking, targeted individuals, cults, and I just couldn't make the connection. But what researching narcissistic abuse from they had this lady that told me that she behooved me to research narcissistic abuse. And, you know, because of when I told her about what Lisa Ruby did to me, you know, but then with me researching all I can about narcissistic abuse, then I re-stumbled again upon cults, mind control, gang stalking, Freemason, Illuminati, New World Order, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, depopulation, remote neural monitoring, gaslighting, V2K, voice to skull, all of that. You know, it seems like it's all interconnected. Did I mention about cults too? Oh, yeah. So, okay. So, I mean, but, you know, like when my twin sister in 2000, I don't remember if it was 2012 or 2013. I don't think it was 2014. It was over the summer, I think, one of those years that my twin sister berated, condemned me, and gave me a long 4-hour lecture and tried to tell me off about myself because, you know, I told her about me no longer believing in the fake IDMR cult. But, you know, people would say that what she did to me was a blessing in disguise. She smear campaigned and lied to me. Smear campaigned and lied on me to the fake IDMR cult leader. I heard he is now deceased. And that fake fraudster, Robert Harris, you know, who took the fake fraudster Henry Clifford Kinley's place as being a cult leader. You know, Robert Harris, you know, my twin sister's smear campaign me to him and then forced me to talk to him. And then he berated and condemned me and stuff like that. It was in 2010 after I had that suicide attempt and was very suicidal and all that. You know, after I woke up to the truth about the Illuminati and the New World Order, because over the summer of 2010, I was researching. Twitter was how I found out. And it's like, I was believing people talking about it, but then again, I felt fearful and embarrassed that if I came out and said that I believe this is true, then, you know, I'm like, well, I have nothing else to lose. Everybody call me crazy anyway. Excuse me. So, but yeah, that man yelled at me and wouldn't allow for me to speak or say what I'm going through. And he told me, I know exactly who you are. You are a satanic spirit. You are a demon in a body. I have nothing to say to you. And then he hung up in my face. You know, and he was also a Freemason, Masonic. You know, the fake IDMR cult, whoever's at the top in leadership, they're all Masonic. The founder was a Scottish Rite Freemason. You know, but one thing I mean about the fake IDMR cult, they're a religious cult, but I never really heard anything about children. One good thing about the fake IDMR cult, though, is I never really heard any stories really about children being molested and stuff like that, you know. But it may have happened. But they had people who were forced into the cult as a child and grow up damaged. You know, they feel like they you know, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually damaged. Oh, now that I'm talking about it, now they're hitting me with directed energy weapons and causing my left side to hurt. They don't want me to talk about this. I mean, the feeling that I get when they're squeezing my organs, I'm not even bending down. I'm just laying flat on my back. And they're on the left side, they're squeezing, you know, they're squeezing my left side. I mean, they're making my left side hurt. So, I felt like too tired to even do any videos today, but I'm I mean, like now, I mean, as I said, now we're fighting a criminal charge. You know, I cannot move out of New Orleans metro area. And one part of me is making me feel hopeless, and another part is making me feel like I just can't wait until this is over, or how long would it be, or me feeling nervous about anything with the court, and I have to brace myself and prepare. I guess if the judge would confront me about why I called the police officers gang stalkers to their face, you know. So, but anyway, certain people say that the fake IDMR cult might have something to do with me being targeted. But the fake foster mom, Adrian Felder, she ran her own household like a cult, like her own personal cult. And the reason why me and my twin sister don't get along, because and why the foster sister Joni don't like me, and why why Wyatt and Mark still hate me, you know, and Sean, you know, because the fake foster mom, Adrian Felder, manipulated us as kids to spy and snitch and betray each other, and that's one of the reasons why we never didn't get along. You know, and all of us were abused. Even Joni was abused. All of us were abused, and even Joni's brother James was abused. The foster grandma Mildred Collins used to physically abuse and beat on James. Excuse me, but the other sister Tasha, I don't know if Tasha was abused or not, you know. But yeah, Joni was 19 years old being whipped with a belt The foster mom would put bloody welts on Joni. Excuse me. So, but you know, I think that it's good, and I'm glad that I broke away from the foster family and got on my own, and I was fighting to get on my own. But excuse me, if I would have had the knowledge that I have now about the Illuminati New World Order and mind control and gang stalking, I think that I think I would have been murdered a long time ago. I mean, I think the foster family, with their abuse, even with the biological family, I think that I think I would have been murdered. Because even in 2015, Ramona, when I went down there, came down here to New Orleans. From I was living in Los Angeles, and I came to visit New Orleans. And Ramona was using and taking advantage of my money and everything. And she manipulated for me to feel, she would physically abuse and beat on me, and I didn't understand why she was treating me this way. And the first night of me being there in 2015, they didn't care about being excited to see me or haven't seen me in years. Her and Monica, all they wanted to do is they wanted to be all excited about watching Empire on TV, Excuse me. And it's like you ignore your own sister that you haven't seen in 5 years. And I come in town and y'all ignore me just to watch Empire TV show. And then after that, Ramona got mad and threw the biggest freaking tantrum because nobody volunteered to go to the store and buy her $1 roll of toilet paper. But eventually I got toilet paper for the house, and she got mad and made it like if it's her toilet paper. I said, I'm the one that went and go get it. I'm like, no, it was me who paid for it and went to go get it. We both went together from what I thought I remember. And I do remember going to Dollar General, like a super Dollar General on St. Bernard. On St. Bernard Avenue, that was across the street from that Catholic church. That was where Blake and Daryl's funeral were, and it was right near that Rallies. I don't know if the Rallies are still there, but yeah, right up in that area. Yeah, I remember. So, like Ramona, she physically abused and beat on me and put bruises on me and manipulated for me to feel scared that she was trying to kill me, or that if I stayed any longer, that she would kill me. And then that was the time when, around the time when Blake told me, you're unwanted, don't come back down here. And then Yvonne came right behind him and said, don't come back down here no more. And if you do, you go stay in a hotel. But I'm the only family member who's not allowed. I mean, no matter what Pete did, nobody ever kicked Pete and John and them out of the family. They did some horrific stuff. And if Pete wanted to go by Yvonne, she's not going to stop him. But the only reason why they don't permanently ban Sean from the family, because especially Ramona, wants easy access to controlling and taking all his money. They thought I was, you know, once I started standing up and fighting back, like in 2010, Ramona took advantage of me, and that was one of the direct reasons for my when she scammed me out of all of that money, out of $375. And earlier that year, my twin sister Brandy, she scammed me out of $375 earlier that year. And I said, well, is that all I'm good for, is to be used? So, I nearly succeeded at attempted suicide in 2010. And then after getting out of the mental hospital, that was the second time. It happened in 2007 as well, where you attempt suicide and then end up in a mental hospital and be abused by mental hospital staff in the way where they rough handle and restrain you and drug you up, but they antagonize and provoke you on purpose, for an excuse to justify drugging you up and putting you in restraints and putting you in a seclusion room. And it's like they torture and torment you and block you from trying to talk to somebody and have any emotional support, and they'll try to make it like it's all of your bad behavior, So, excuse me. When Mark lied on me, in 2010, after he took advantage of my money, he stole my money and took advantage of my money. And then more money than I had, the mental hospital staff, they stole $30 worth of quarters from me. And, and the 6 men rough handle. Mark pretended to be fake nice just to scam me out of money. Because he would never, none of the family would ever really care about me enough to visit me in a mental hospital. But after, like right when a suicide attempt happened, like later on that day or the next day, I had Mark pretended to be fake nice just to take advantage of my money. And then after that, about a week later, the mental hospital staff, he lied to the mental hospital staff on me. And then one of the staff members, Myra, got in my face and said, your brother said that you're notorious for always trying to seek attention. And I'm thinking, like, I'm hardly even around Mark. He doesn't even really know me that well. So when she got in my face and told me that, I had an emotional meltdown and an outburst, a Tourette's outburst, and, really bad. And then after that, the 6 men, that's football player size, to rough handle me and restrain and torture me for hours and trying to smother me and trying to kill me. And they were trying to break my arms and stuff, and it felt like police brutality. And they weren't even cops. They were mental hospital staff. And then after I would calm down, they would keep antagonizing and provoking me, or tickle torturing my feet on purpose, so that when I would kick them and try to get them to stop torturing my feet, they would use that to justify rough handling me even more. I don't even remember everything that they did to me. But during the suicide attempt, with the police officers laughing at me and snooping through all my belongings in my apartment, and they were laughing and snooping through my belongings. And then, one of the officers was gentle with me as I started to die. And then the other officer, with vicious hate, anger, would angrily twist his knuckles into my chest. And they had some police officers fucking laughing at me. It's like, really, that nobody would have cared if I would have freaking died. And I guess maybe I really didn't want to die, but you know what they say with the so-called mental patients, that it's just a cry for help. Damn, like I'm almost like tearing up just thinking about it. And I mean, as I said, like I feel traumatized by my past suicide attempts. And even after that, like getting out of the hospital, um, like either a day or a week later or so, like I took more pills to try to just off myself. And even in 2007, after getting out of the mental hospital, I tried to attempt suicide again because of dealing with being abused and dealing with no help, no support at all. And I did not realize that all this was part of the gang stalking and narcissistic abuse. Like, how fucking low. It's like when I would be around family, the family hate my guts and don't want shit to do with me. But when they find out that I quote unquote came into some money, and not even from lawsuits, it would be like student loan money or something. Or, even just simply the social security check, and they would just rob and take advantage. And then once the money is gone, or I don't have any more to give, they will create a fake scenario, or create a fake crisis where they pick a huge argument or a fight with me, and trying to like my twin sister would be dirty enough that she would bully me out of my money and use and take advantage of me, and then pick an argument or a fight with me on purpose to justify feeling like she don't have to pay me back. And then she manipulated the rest of the family to treat me like that too. And if I ran out of funds, they would, her and her husband would, Dwayne would block my number or change their number, and make me feel really bad. And then, they would be like blackmailing and threatening me out of my money and stuff. And that's how I ended up in debt. Excuse me, but I'm glad that now that I'm older, I don't have a whole lot of situations really anymore where people pretend to be fake nice and trying to use and take advantage of me. And they really don't need your money. They just want you to have nothing. And it's like, y'all get more money than me. Why do you feel the need to take mine? Excuse me. My twin sister had a nicer apartment than I did, bigger, and she had a car. And she was getting thousands of dollars a month. My income was probably no higher than $694 in 2010. And I had the student loan money, and she took advantage of me when I went there to Stone Mountain, Georgia, where her and the kids were living at. And that was the last time I saw the kids, and the first time I ever met the third child, McKeithen. And after I left, my twin sister, she showed me a picture of the right side of McKeithen's face being bloody, and the boy looked like he was really sad. And I don't know if I guess he looked like he must have just got done crying. And at first she kept lying and saying that he had fell off the bed, and then later on she admitted and confessed to me that that she slapped him so hard that he fell off the bed. So she was abusing her own kids. And I witnessed her abusing the doggone kids, and threatening to get Mr. Paddle for the kids. And she would neglect and ignore them and leave them to eat only like Pop Tarts and freaking excuse me, Pop Tarts and you know, um Pop Tarts and Hot Pockets and stuff. And made it like as if she couldn't afford to take care of them or feed them. And then the CPS people were trying to tell her, to make sure that she has adequate beds. But you know what? CPS, fuck them. They need to mind their own business or whatever, But excuse me. But she was telling me that CPS, said that she needed to have proper beds for the kids or whatever. But she made it like she couldn't afford to buy them beds, and she made it like as if she couldn't afford to feed them healthy food or whatever. And then next thing you know, when she kept on, she would do stuff like call me and beg me to take the kids and raise them, and I'm like, well, didn't you lie on me and say that I did XYZ to your kids, like, and you think that I don't have the mentality to take have any kids? And she was even one of the people back in 2007 trying to tell me that I better not get pregnant. And even people in New York was like, you better not get pregnant. Or they think I'm not mentally, they would feel like I'm not mentally capable of raising any kids or anything. Or they think, so, my twin sister in 2010 was desperate to throw her kids on anybody and just did not want them anymore. And the biological mom, Frances, she wrote me a letter and left me a voicemail saying, Candy, this ma. Now when I tell you this, don't cry. You heard me? Brandy gave all the kids away. And she wrote me a letter and slid it under my door as well. With the same message. And I'm like, what the, that was her second time, voluntarily giving her kids back to the doggone system. Because she gave them away at first, and then fought tooth and nail to get them back, and got them back. And then, she was desperate to give her kids away. So, excuse me, but and then, she would blame everybody else, making it like everybody else did XYZ to her kids. So, but shortly after she gave away the kids, she started getting in relationships with other women, treating them with $75 lobster dinners every day. And from what she was telling me. And ignore me for our birthday. But whatever girlfriend she get, it seems like she would treat them lavish for their birthdays. She didn't even give her kids lavish birthdays. It seemed like she was cheap with the kids. Excuse me. And like the kids, they're now adults, except for McKeith, and I think he's about to be 17. But Ivan and Raven, like, she's in this mess with this new girlfriend. It's like, excuse me, instead of chasing a woman, why aren't you trying to go and find your kids? Why aren't you trying to go look for your kids and reunite with them? But she wants to turn everything on me and lie it on me. And speaking of that, earlier, like shortly before I came on this video, David Jane pretended to be, I knew that was him, excuse me, he pretended to be, you know, he made a fake new account called Super Fat Girl. And with the fake account called Super Fat Girl, that was one of his comments is him lying on me and said that I did XYZ to Raven. And he also lied on me and said that Glenn from the fake Hell's Way Church, David Jane lied and said that I molested Glenn's kids. When I never even hugged those kids. I never got close to those kids. I don't even think I really spoke to them. And wow, and they hit me in my head right here. Exactly right here. I never even really spoke to or interacted with those kids. Excuse me, and all I remember is people will say that those kids were bad as fuck. And like, if Glenn was supposed to be a Christian and the wife was like a biracial, looking a light skinned African, and like those kids, I think they were a boy and a girl, and I don't remember if they had a third child. But the boy used to beat the shit out of his sister, like, and he had a lot of vicious hate anger. And it's like Glenn had never disciplined or corrected those kids. He would just sit there and look like he's in La La Land, But I don't even recall ever interacting with those kids. I didn't even pay much of attention to them, but they hardly came to the church services, but maybe a few times, but they didn't really come that much. But yeah, all I remember about those kids is the boy used to beat the shit out of the girl, and they were like 3-4 years old, and they used to fight a whole lot, and nobody really did anything to discipline or to correct the kids or make them stop fighting or whatever. I just minded my own business and just stayed in my own lane, I guess. So like, where would I have had time to touch Glenn's kids if I never been to Glenn's house? I didn't even know where he lived at. I never spoke to Glenn or his wife on the phone, but Glenn's sister, her name is also Monica. Monica used to call me all the time. And I don't even know if Monica was a perp or under mind control or something. But because if I talked to Monica on the phone, no matter what phone number she would have, or no matter what phone number I would have, or no matter what phone she had, or what phone I had, every time I got on the phone with her, it was always like, hello, 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 and like, could never get through. But she would leave a lot of messages, saying that she was praying for me and stuff like that. I think I heard that her husband had passed away. I could be wrong, but I think I remember hearing that. But I wasn't even sure if Monica was a perp or not, but Glenn didn't like me. Um, well, Glenn wasn't really nice towards me. So, I just, I mean, nobody really liked me in the fake Hell's Way church. Um, you know, and Eric, the fake pastor, was a perp. And he was like a multi-time criminal and was required to register as a sex offender. And he said that he'd been in prison 4 times. You know, but he just and some people said that he was a narcissist, or what I would say a narcissistic abuser. I mean, well, no wonder why I cried the first day of going to that church. When I was going to the food bank, and these people had suggested that I go to that church, and they said, "Oh, go to such and such church. They feed people or whatever." And then when I went over there, Eric was like, he said with an attitude, "Generous until after service." You know. And then sat through the service, but I cried the whole time. Because he hurt my feelings. And I busted my ass and walked a long walk over there. Not realizing that I could have took the bus, but the bus was taking too long. Excuse me. And then afterwards, Eric was like, "We feed you in the name of Jesus," and gave me a lot of food. And then, try to manipulate and pretend to be fake nice and beg me to stay and say, "Even if you just come for the food," And it's like, well, I wasn't even a Christian or a believer yet. I thought it was the way they talked, that like as if it was just a church that served food. Serve meals or serve dinner or whatever, you know. But I noticed that the whole church turned against me, when I told them about being raped by the Freemason. And after I came there, at first they were serving like decent meals and stuff. And then afterwards, Eric's girlfriend, Melissa, she turned into an abusive, narcissistic, fake flying monkey perp. And Melissa had, hated. She used to take her time out to listen to me. And she used to love me. And then the entire church turned against me when I told them about being raped by the Freemason. And after that, Melissa quit cooking great food and normal food and got lazy. And I don't even know if it was all because of me. That she started to cook hot dogs. And then when they would have potlucks, even store-bought food I would bring, nobody wanted to touch it, or they treated my food like it was diseased. I mean, I didn't even realize the fake Hell's Way church was full of perps. And Eric was damn sure a perp. Fake Ben Lynn was another highly narcissistic perp. Excuse me, that was the guy the underage child. Nah, he was a young adult, but I'm calling him because Ben Fraud is younger than me. And he was so narcissistic that he had a huge sign of, talking about his way in life or whatever. They changed the fake name of the church. And only 5 people attending. You only got 5 people attending your fake church. But then you got this big, huge sign, bigger than the signs of whatever mega church. And it's like, how you going to be a Christian missionary and you're throwing up satanic hand signs You probably raping people overseas, or MK Ultra mind controlling people overseas and covering it up, pretending that it's Christian missionary work. So anyway, um, it's precisely 10:30 right now. Now, why is everybody trying to lure me out of state and suggesting that I go live out of state when I cannot leave? I cannot leave New Orleans now. Excuse me, I can't leave New Orleans now because of the criminal charge that I'm fighting in. And people need to be freaking, they just making me so damn mad. You know, but anyway though, even if I still believed in a fake IDMR cult, nobody would help me anyway. You know, like with me struggling with my homeless situation, nobody would help me anyway, and they would be like, well, why don't you go ask your mama, referring to that fake foster mom, Adrian Felder. You know, so they wouldn't help me. Excuse me. And the fake IDMR cult, everybody's scared. Like even the fake foster family members themselves. Everybody, tiny ass little Adrian Felder, who freaking falsely glorifies herself as 4'11" and about 98 pounds or whatever. Everybody was scared of her. Like men that's over 6 feet 5 inches tall were frightened of this lady. I still got PTSD from her, or anybody that looks like her, or anybody who will talk like her. And I feel freaking traumatized, you know. Excuse me. So, I mean, anybody from my past, foster family, biological family, fake IDMR cult members, people I went to school with, if I had to live with any of them, they wouldn't want me to stay by them. And if I did stay by them, I would end up being subjected to being abused. Subjected to abuse. Or being kicked out anyway. And back to square one. Back to being homeless. You know. But they had this narcissistic control freak fake TI perp named Hood Ross on Twitter, that when I try to show a video of you know, I thought that I was able to successfully capture it on camera, but I didn't. But it was a white Ford truck, and the perps were like had the they passed by in a white truck, perping with a red phone in the passenger side, and I don't know if they were videoing me or filming or recording me or taking pictures of me. And I heard that they put you on the targets on the dark web, and I heard that when perps film and record the target, I heard it's part of the human trafficking, and they make a lot of money. You know, and it's part of the sex trafficking that you know, if they like even Brian too is being sex trafficked. Like, how did Stephon Adams get pictures, sexual pictures of Brian too, and smearing them all over the internet and everything? You know, so yeah, they're human trafficking or sex trafficking. You know, it was a white F-150, and the passengers had the phone sticking out of the window filming and recording me. But if I do that, I would get wrongfully banned from somewhere forever. Wrongfully banned forever. If I film and record the perps standing up for myself. And so the fake T.I. perp Hood Ross try to falsely talk about that that me, filming and recording that the perps want me to look unstable or something like that. So I'm like, okay, so you defending and agreeing with the perps, with him talking about you insinuating that I look unstable. Like, nobody fucking asked you for your advice. Get the fuck out of here. You showed yourself as a fake. Where's your evidence? But then y'all call me fake if I didn't have any evidence. But I got my evidence and y'all still falsely accused me of being a fake TI with no evidence. Excuse me. When I first, I did a video, but I didn't publicize it, of me walking out of here right after I checked out. And the gang stalking was really heavy. It was really bad. Real bad. And then, I went to the library. Excuse me, and so even though the bank, in my bank account, everything was all messed up with with restaurants being late at charging my my debit card and stuff, because if the pending debit doesn't clear, they put the money back on your card, and so I gotta wait, and then they come days later and take the money out. I'm like, damn, why is it set up like this, where they trying to manipulate and try to set you up for your account to be overdrafted? So I try to be extra careful to make sure that my account would not be overdrafted, and trying to keep track. So I calculated that I would have had like $7.06 left. 7.06. And so I figured, I was gonna go get go to a burger place, but I figured that where I went was closer. And so I got those little chicken and cheese roll-up things, 2 of them, because they had 2 left. And I had these little strawberry flavored stage planks. I really didn't want them because I really don't like strawberry flavored stuff, but I guess it didn't taste bad. And then I had 2 small bags of chips that were 2 for $1. And that all came up to $6.41, which left me with 65 cents in the bank. And they had one person in the TI community that was trying to help me, but she said that that PayPal wasn't letting her send me the money for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but thanks so much for having it on your heart, to try to help me, even though you at least tried. So thank you so much, for at least trying. Excuse me. But another person, helped me with, a certain amount of funds. I'm not going to disclose how much it was, but it was enough for a hotel night plus a couple of meals. So I had enough points to be able to get a discounted night, and and I got a discounted night And I didn't even check to see how much it would be what if I didn't get the discount. I mean, I had enough points, you know. So now, excuse me, so I had enough points to get a discount at night, and then after that, you know, with the discounted points, it was like $54 or something, and then with tax, it was 61. You know, $61. Excuse me. But full price, it probably would have been $20 or $25 more or something. And the front desk agent asked me why I got the handicap room. Well, it was out of the cheapest rooms that's non-smoking, and the only one that's non-smoking at the moment was the handicap room. Excuse me. You know, the other two says smoking. But last time when I got the room that said smoking, even though I don't smoke, the other agent was like, or was it her or the other agent? I don't remember. It's like, why you got the room that says smoking? I said, well, that was one of the cheapest ones available, you know. Excuse me, but I would have felt bad to take, you know, take the handicap room away from somebody that really needed it, you know. But most of the time, I try to get a regular room and don't, you know, I be trying to, you know, be considerate and let people who need the handicap room more than I do, you know. But excuse me, the handicap room or the other king size bed or whatever cheaper rooms were they were saying like only one room left, you know. So, but it turned out that this evening was an evening where I very much needed excuse me, I very much needed you know, I very much needed the handicap bathroom. I mean, you know, the handicap room because um the perps were my organs were being squeezed earlier. So it actually worked out, you know, for me to have that handicap room because those bastards were freaking squeezing trying to squeeze my organs. You know, the gang stalking network. So I was so glad and excited to take a shower. And but I mean, the shower curtain was dirty, and when I turned on the water, you know, this is the first time in my life in this room. You know, I turned on the water, and it seemed like, you know, the water was filling up, and I'm like, oh shit, is this another bathroom where the water, you know, where the water won't drain out of the tub? But it drained a little bit slow, but I'm glad it drained out, you know. Excuse me. And surprisingly, the water was a little bit hotter than, you know, the water was a little bit hotter than excuse me, the water was a little bit hotter than the other rooms that I had been in, you know. So excuse me, but there's a little bit like small stains of fresh blood on the blankets, and you know, that I have in this room. And the top blanket, that thing that drapes over the white blankets and stuff, it looked dirty to me. So I you know, put it on a dresser. Excuse me. But I tried to go somewhere for dinner and the place was closed. So then I discovered the hot dog stand. I'm sorry, the snowball stand. And I didn't know if I wanted a snowball or ice cream, but I got ice cream and not a snowball because my hands were I ordered three hot dogs and some ice cream. And um the man was like, abusive, narcissistic, hard, and mean, and at the same time, weird. And he was throwing up devil horns and 666 hand sign. And he threw up the 666 hand sign in my face like he wanted to try to force me to see it. and I stood patiently and waited, and that was like the only, to have a, dinner to eat for under $10, but I'm like, first and last time ever coming back. But um like, he got an attitude with me when I said that I, didn't want chili on my hot dogs, and I asked how much would it cost. Would it be less? And he said whether chili or not is still the same price. And he had an attitude and was rude to me, And then they had these people in front of me, and I don't even know if they were planted there. And I didn't really see much on her legs, but the lady looked like, you know, and just like with the red velvet cake situation with the perps, um, with the red velvet cake situation, after an online perp harassed me about it and lectured me about, and the online perp it wasn't about red velvet cake. I was talking about chocolate cake, you know. And then the perps came, those five young boys came with the red velvet cake. So after Jessica Ricketts Holdness, mentioned about when she lied on me and said that I bring bed bugs to the hotels and stuff, I don't, So they sent a lady. Well, the lady at the hot dog, I keep saying hot dog. The lady at the snowball stand, it's like right across the street from the hotel. The lady at the snowball stand, there was a family, and her arms looked like she had bed bug bites. Her arms looked like it, and but I didn't notice any on her legs. But I don't know for sure. And for the past several days, I have not itched. But now, I feel like I'm itching. But I don't have any bites or whelps or anything like that, But I don't even know if the perps are hitting me with directed energy weapons to make me feel like I'm itching like this, But I took a shower, this evening after dinner. And then they went to come and try to they ordered their food before me. And then afterwards they sat down and waited around, and they all ordered like red snowballs. Excuse me. And it's like I wanted a snowball. And it's like, I have to admit, I felt like I would have wanted like a cherry or a tiger's blood, or even pink lemonade snowball, for the flavor, But I didn't get any snowball. I got but I don't, I wasn't gonna do it to gang stalk nobody, just for No, I even thought about maybe having like the ice cream flavored snowball, or the spearmint. Like when I was a kid, spearmint used to be one of my favorite snowball flavors, But wow, those nostalgic times of you know, back then when we used to order snowballs. But I feel sad that that man is like a devil worshiping narcissistic perp. And I said first and last time, you know. So I don't even know if that lady was planted there, you know. And then now I'm freaking my legs are freaking itching, but excuse me. Um but I don't feel any welts or anything like that. But sometimes people might say, "Oh, it's psychological. It's all in your head." So then, they waited around, and after I ordered my 3 hot dogs and ice cream, um, they waited for me to get my food and leave, and they waited around, and then they tried to leave it at the exact same time I did, and then tried to follow me to my room. And when I telling them get the hell away from me, then they went a different direction. And it's like they were supposedly staying at this hotel too. Excuse me. And then the man at the that works the snowball stand, he got an attitude with me when I try to ask him about chocolate ice cream, and he was saying that vanilla was all he had, but he said it with an attitude like I'm supposed to already know. But then he offered to put chocolate syrup on it, and I'm like, oh no thanks, I'll just take the plain vanilla ice cream. So when I asked, can I have 3 hot dogs, and then he's like, oh, what you mean, or whatever. And so, and when he got an attitude with me for asking for 3 hot dogs, and then later on he made it like as if he was trying to explain that yesterday a woman came by and asked for a hot dog, and he said that after he made the hot dog, she told him she didn't have any money, and that he made it like he was forced to have to just give her a free hot dog. And I'm like, but like I showed him like, here's my debit card. Here is my debit card. So I paid for it. I had zero intentions on trying to get it for free. But then, so I mean, I guess it's a good thing I didn't get the chili and the cheese on the hot dog, because those were like extremely salty hot dogs. That vibrating my body right now. Excuse me. Those were salty hot dogs. Um, you know, and then, I had, and I feel sad because that could be like, I don't know if I'll go there again. I don't know. But for now, it seems like I don't want to go back over there. And like I felt like the hot dogs, well, I guess for them to be cheap, like $2.50, I guess they expected to be nasty. The hot dogs were kind of nasty, and salty as hell. And I just asked them to put only ketchup. But if I would have had chili and cheese and stuff, I definitely would have been having like more explosive heartburn and acid reflux and stuff. So I only have enough for like maybe 1 or 2 meals tomorrow, you know, and wish I could have more help with hotel nights. Um, and would hate to have to be back, like go back on the streets, you know, on, you know, there was somebody who told me that when I was working at, like, cause somebody suggested that I go work at these resorts, and you could get housing and lodging or whatever. But somebody said something about if you get fired, or you know if you get fired from working at like the Grand Canyon or something, you'd be blacklisted and can't work anywhere else. Um, so I've tried, you know, like they workplace mobbed me. I think it was less than 2 weeks. Um, Workplace mobbed me off the job with the Grand Canyon for me to travel from New Orleans all the way to North Rim, Grand Canyon, North Rim, Arizona. For me to travel all the way out there from New Orleans to go, and I had to get to Utah and Las Vegas, St. George, Utah, and Las Vegas, Nevada, to get to the Grand Canyon. Excuse me. And for a couple of days, like before they came and got me, I had to wait at the Greyhound station. And I even tried to get into a shelter. And even in Las Vegas, the shelters were all full. I could not get into the shelters even in Las Vegas, And Las Vegas seemed like it's rougher than Los Angeles. In Las Vegas, they're worse than New York. That they would threaten you with death just for asking for directions. I don't even know if anybody that's targeted in Las Vegas. Wow, if the gang stalking is that bad, even in Las Vegas. and they had a security guard bullied and chased me out of the casino. Excuse me. So, and I think I tried to stay in a motel, but I think that when I asked about it, I didn't have enough money. I didn't get to stay in a hotel or motel I think it was downtown Las Vegas, but they had a lot of homeless people in Las Vegas as well. I don't think I ever want to go back to Las Vegas. The fact that they would threaten to kill you just for asking for directions. And I think I remember I got into a heated argument with people on the buses and stuff. And the bus drivers, of course, take up for the perps and everything. And even at the bus stop, they had perps. I got into arguments with, excuse me. So, but yeah. So like after the Grand Canyon, I tried to apply at for other resort jobs or jobs from coolworks.com, and they were like, I take the time to fill out applications and they all ignore me. So eventually they would reject my application. So I eventually gave up on trying to find jobs with coolworks.com. And Craigslist kept on advertising to work at Yellowstone National Park. And it's like, well, if it weren't for the jail situation and me having to go to court and stuff, I probably would have applied to work at the Yellowstone National Park. But what if I only was able to stay there like 1 or 2 days and they gang stalked me off the job, and then I have to come all the way back here to New Orleans or be stuck out there, you know? Excuse me. But um, excuse me. But it's like it's like even people in the so-called TI community act like as if they trying to judge your situation. Um, and like earlier today, I found out about this person named Susie Perez that was like a video dancer or something. She was a backup dancer for J-Lo and associated with Diddy and all them. And then she ended up homeless in New York City. And, I mean, she got scammed in human traffic. Excuse me, and she's homeless and on drugs because they drugged her up and forced her to be a drug addict, and they sex trafficked her. And excuse me, they sex trafficked her, and then she has a son that's like 19 or 20 years old, and they're saying that she doesn't want to get clean or that she doesn't want help, but maybe she's too traumatized. So I found out another lady that was similar, that they said she was like a professional fitness coach or model or something, named Lonnie Willison, and she married somebody, don't remember his name offhand. Excuse me, I don't remember his name, but she was married to him, the guy from Baywatch or something, and I heard that he got her put on the gang stalking list, and she's out and like they making my nose itch. She's like been dumpster diving like at Venice Beach in the LA metro area. And so she mentioned about being electrocuted for a whole year, and the reason why she can't be inside of buildings. And I'm like, is this lady a targeted individual being hit with direct energy weapons, and she thought she was being electrocuted? And other people in the comments were saying that she was under MK Ultra and targeted individual. Like, so excuse me. So they said she was targeted and excuse me, targeted and under MK Ultra, and now forced homeless and on drugs, and they said she'd be dumpster diving and stuff like that. So like before people want to judge a homeless person, some homeless people might have been abused so bad that they can't trust anyone. And this is the reason why they be refusing help. This is why they be refusing help. Excuse me. Like when I heard about both of their stories, it's like my heart felt crushed. Because in my situation, with me being targeted, I cannot stay somewhere for a long period of time, or else they will gang stalk me or hit me with if they're not using noise harassment, noise campaigns, they will use direct energy weapons, or they will bully or make you feel unsafe and force you to stay homeless. And you know, so like they had some people that were insensitive in the comments section, and it's not their fault that they ended up in the situations that they did with being, from successful models or whatever, and then ended up a homeless druggie, you know, but it's not their fault. They're making my nose itch. Excuse me. But excuse me. So with today being April 15th, it was 11:05 p.m. and my left side still kind of hurts. Today being April 15th, it seemed like because it's tax day, I think, they gang stalked me heavy both online and in person, but I'm not getting any tax refund. I'm not getting any tax refund, you know. But they have some people that have a home and are afraid to be inside their house. They are afraid to be inside their house for one reason or another. Um, and if the directed energy weapons force you out of your home and make you homeless, and then when you're homeless on the streets and stuff or in the shelters and still dealing with directed energy attacks, that you try to get relief from the torture and the torment and the pain and everything, and excuse me, with all these attacks, and even in jail or the mental institution, you could be hit with directed energy weapons and nowhere to run. And they do the mind control experiments. So with them doing this unethical torture, and the homeless person is just trying to survive, and y'all talk about people breaking the law. And you know, so yeah, to end up being dude out of your own house, like for them to hit you with directed energy weapons that you're forced to vacate your home. They have people in the TI community that their pets get murdered by directed energy weapons. And then people try to be like, oh, they're just going to harass you. It's just a no-touch torture program. Well, why they have at least 2 people in the TI community, and one of them is a new Twitter follower. At least 2 people in the TI community on Twitter that mention about being raped every day. About perps breaking into their house and raping them every day. And perps do assault, they do hurt, and they do kill targeted individuals. And just like celebrities, they will kill us and make it look like a suicide. Or make it look like an accident. Aaliyah was a targeted individual. Now people saying Justin Bieber is a targeted individual. I don't know if Jaden Smith is a targeted individual or not, but he had been miserable dealing with Hollywood and his parents or whatever, But I never heard any stories about Willow trying to fight against the mind control and fight against Hollywood, but Jaden Smith, he's damaged by Hollywood. But yeah, I don't know about Jaden Smith, but Justin Bieber I think is a targeted, and Chris Brown too, and Michael Jackson was targeted. People say Amy Winehouse, was targeted. Um, and you could be any color or race, famous or not. You know, it seems like this targeting don't discriminate. They got freaking newborn babies that are TIs, or people that don't become targeted until they become old. And I've read this one website they try to say that most people over 70 are targeted, for the New World Order depopulation and extermination. And Satan wants your children. Satan wants the youth. Excuse me. Satan wants your children. I don't. You know what? I don't even know if Left Eye from TLC. I'm not sure whether or not she was targeted. Um, but I don't know if Cat Williams is considered a targeted individual. But some people say he's controlled opposition. But I believe Orlando Brown is targeted. You know, and still under the mind control. And if they be under mind control and they end up saying stuff that people will say is bizarre. And I think Britney Spears is a targeted individual. And they brainwash us to hate these celebrities sometimes. But sometimes they tell you who to idolize and who to hate. Like when Britney came out, they try to make it like she was this 17-year-old slut. But it wasn't like that. She was under MK Ultra. Excuse me. I mean, she was a child, and I didn't realize she was one of the MK Ultra Disney kids. Part of the Mickey Mouse Club, right? Her, Justin Timberlake, Christina Aguilera, and I don't remember who else. The MK Ultra, the mind control Disney program, Mickey Mouse programming, Wizard of Oz programming, and they have Masonic themes, and the Walt Disney was a pedo Freemason. Excuse me. But yeah, people say that if you are a targeted individual, then you are an MK Ultra victim. So I guess I am an MK Ultra victim. I guess I am an MK Ultra victim. You know, but I can't believe this. If I'm so fat, old, ugly, and unattractive, why y'all still trying to sex traffic me and want me to be a devil worshiping sex slave perp? You know. You want me to be a devil worshiping sex slave perp. So they have this spot on my hand right here. This part. Wait, hold up. In between my thumb and this finger. A spot on my hand that it's been itching for the past few days, and it's like no bump there, and I'm wondering if they're localizing that spot, hitting it with directed energy weapons. Like they, I don't know if the scar is, yeah, it's right here. When they hit this spot with directed energy weapons, you know. They're making me itch right here. So, but I know society is pressuring me, to get a home or get a job soon as possible. And how can you, being in this targeting program and being blacklisted and being targeted and blacklisted and you know people won't give you a job or a place to live, you know, and normally I'm an independent person who hate to be a burden, but only ask for help when I need it. And, the sex trafficking gang stalkers who are slandering me maliciously, they're lying to people and saying that I want to be homeless. They even have people in the TI community said that even if it's not for workplace mobbing, if they were forced to quit their job because of the directed energy weapons are torturing them so bad. When I was working at the zoo, they would have noise campaigns so bad that I had to quit work early for the day. When I was working at the zoo back in 2018, excuse me. Imagine somebody give you a hotel room and then put their hands upside down and flash the devil horns hand sign, and then give you a room that's related to the Masonic 33. Now, like, wow, I got my final confirmation about you being a perp. And then they got a little bit of blood on the, it's not my blood. Hold up. And there's another spot where it's a little bit of blood on the sheets. On the blanket. Here's the other spot. And stuff like this is how, it's the reason, one of the main reasons why I end up with, having OCD and everything, And they got some stains on the shower curtain that looked like I couldn't tell if it's cigarette burns or shit, or if it was rust stains or what it was, But see, I'm not, it's not my blood. So this was here before I got up in here, But, it's really hard to be targeted and forced homeless and can't get to have any stability or comfort, or to even, you're not allowed to live a normal life. And I keep on trying to fight and battle against these online stalkers trying to control me. And I keep exposing and blocking them, But before I go, there was somebody in the TI community that almost a month ago, and I just found out today, or if she told me a month ago, if she told me a month ago, I don't remember. But someone said that she donated my twin sister some money, and my twin sister asked for help, and that my twin sister cussed her out and said, "Oh, you ain't never gave me shit." And she said that my twin sister had cussed her out and stuff. And I don't even know if people in the so-called TI community run to my twin sister out of curiosity, or like if you see me being a real target and being targeted, and y'all be the main ones being narcissistic and controlling and try to tell me ignore, but you secretly go behind my back and befriend my twin sister. But this person said, excuse me, it's like if you're targeted and you see she's a perp, why the hell you donating to her? And she's rich, but you said you donated to her and you said that she was mean and that she cursed you out, So excuse me, but sometimes people that profess to be targeted act like as if they have bad judgment on who to believe is a real TI or a fake one. Or somebody is being heavily targeted and being perped by a family member. And then y'all will lie and say that the family member that's doing the perping is the one that's the chosen TI. And that the one that's being tormented and defending themselves with the reactive abuse. Y'all lie and say that that person is the chief aggressor that's being antagonizing. And it's like if you're going through this yourself, how could you not recognize when another person is being really targeted? But I've seen people who have videos and updated footage about themselves being targeted and then turn around and perp me, and I'm like, what the hell? But I heard that fake TI perps that sold out that they are deceived about, because perps try to come at me trying to say that your targeting will end if you join us. No, so they said that if you join them, will lessen your targeting. But I heard that the fake TI perps are deceived, and they still end up being targeted themselves. And but I would never want to join that filthy, disgusting gang stalking. They're making my nose itch. I never want to join them. I don't want to gang stalk nobody. I want to be able to. They already be trying to control me, and I have to keep fighting them off. The perps, it's like fighting off enemies in a video game. It's like dealing with this gang stalking. That's what it reminds me of. Like Super Mario, and like all those evil creatures coming at Mario trying to kill him. Mario and Luigi, But then there's, the princess that saves Mario or Luigi. But Jesus Christ, is here to save the whole world, But the Holy Spirit, here to guide and help us, and like Yoshi is there to guide and help, Mario, Luigi, or whatever, That's what it make me think of, kind of, But, yeah, that King Koopa must be the main handler, while the other little creatures be perps. And if you can defeat that big handler, King Cooper, then, you know, you can, and I know it's about enduring to the end and you'll be saved, you know. I'm trying as best as I could, but lately I've been feeling hopeless and wanting to give up. And the online perps, I don't even know how they knew what I would be thinking. And they even, like, as if they read my mind for me to get frustrated and just stop asking for help. And for me to just be homeless on the streets and ask nobody for help, not panhandle or nothing. And just go out, like, yeah, like I was thinking about that a while back. But how do online perps know that I was thinking like that? And they repeated or said it about how I should just go off in the middle of nowhere and just lay down until I die. I mean, until my life ends. For me to just go and lay down somewhere out in the woods until I just die. But it's like how they knew I was thinking that. But, for me to just not ask for help no more and just, not have any food or water, no hotel room, and to just roll over and doggone die. But I wouldn't want to die like that. I'm fighting every day. Every day is a battle to fight to survive. But the perps want me to stop asking for help, and they want me to suffer. Now, and I even said to myself, it would be ironic for the online perps, to call me fat and greedy, not end up dying of starvation. Oh, Candy Grand Prix autopsy cause of death, starvation. Y'all trying to criminalize me fighting to survive. You won't allow me to have a job. You think I'm too crazy to work. And for y'all to lie and say Candy's lazy and don't want to work, y'all mad at me for not selling out and being a perp. And you're not shy about admitting that. How come y'all won't let me have a regular job? You do not have the authority or the right to control me. Well, if I was still working at Piccadilly, today would have been an off day. But Monday and Tuesday, I would have been off. But then working, But if I would have even secured, a permanent housing opportunity, I'm pretty sure I would have been gang stalked out of that apartment and lower credit score and gang stalked out of the apartment and back homeless. What am I supposed to do? I still keep fighting to try to get help to survive every day. And it's scary being on the streets. And y'all want to criminalize, it's not my fault. So, it's really scary, going back on the streets. It's scary, can't go in a shelter. Shelters be full. And they scam and take advantage of people. And even New Orleans was caught misusing homeless shelter funds. So, and I've been like fatigued, depressed, and feeling a sleep deprived feeling all day. Excuse me. And I'm scared to be back on the streets tomorrow. And people get frustrated at me keeping asking for help every day. Excuse me, but those are the same people who tell everybody don't hire me to have a job. How am I supposed to live? They want me to just be quiet and accept torture. In the Masonic MK Ultra silence no talk programming, you see the celebrities with the their finger over their mouth like this, posing like that, with the MK Ultra mind control silence no talk programming. So if you can, I don't even know how else to survive. I don't have a car, can't get a job. They won't let me have housing or a job. I have to have a job first before I can get housing. And they won't I can't stay long term anywhere. It's either the noise campaigns, the directed energy weapons, or them threatening your life. You can't even stay nowhere. And other ways of if they hit you with direct energy weapons so bad you're forced to have to move somewhere else, and then you go somewhere else and they do the same thing. How am I supposed to live? So they don't only criminalize homelessness, they force us to be targeted and then criminalize our targeting. And they criminalize you trying to fight to survive. I don't know what to do or what I'm supposed to do. I'm not out here trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to break laws. I'm really on the verge of just wanting to give up. It's scary and traumatizing being forced to have to live like this, and this is not funny. I'm going now.